Welcome to Wisdom Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2877 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. The title for today's Wisdom Trek is The Song of Ascent, the Cosmic Dew of Holy Harmony. In our previous episode on this grand, multi-generational expedition, we scaled the breathtaking final heights of Psalm 132. We listened in hushed, reverent awe as the human voices of the pilgrims receded, and Yahweh Himself took the cosmic microphone to deliver His final, unyielding oracle. We witnessed the High King of Heaven plant His royal flag upon Mount Zion, declaring it to be His permanent, centralized command center forever. We marveled at His glorious sovereign promises to completely erase hunger by satisfying the poor with bread, to wrap His priests in the defensive armor of salvation, and to cause the royal power of David's ultimate descendant to sprout like a living horn, radiating a blooming, immortal crown of victory that completely humiliates the rebel powers of darkness. Today, we step forward onto the 14th and penultimate ridge of this magnificent pilgrim trail. We are immersing our souls in the second-to-last Song of Ascent, Psalm 133, verses 1 through 3, in the New Living Translation. This short, brilliant masterpiece, written by King David, contains only 3 brief verses. Yet, what it lacks in physical length, it more than makes up for in profound, world-altering spiritual depth. It provides the perfect, beautiful, relational resolution to the epic structural themes we explored in the previous psalm. Once the divine warrior has completely secured his cosmic headquarters on the mountain, and once his righteous king is securely enthroned, we are finally permitted to look inside the fortress walls to witness the internal, radiant atmosphere of the kingdom. We are moving from the grand architecture of the throne room directly into the intimate, fragrant, and refreshing fellowship of the family of God. Let us step onto this sacred section of the trail and discover the true, supernatural anatomy of holy harmony. Segment 1 is The Sacred Assembly and the Subversion of Babel. Psalm 133, verse 1. How wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. The song opens with an ecstatic, heartfelt exclamation of delight. How wonderful and pleasant it is when brothers live together in harmony. The Hebrew vocabulary used here is incredibly rich. The word for wonderful is tov, which means inherently good, functional, and in perfect alignment with the original design of creation. It is the exact same word the Creator used in the opening chapters of Genesis when He looked at His newly organized cosmos and declared it good. The word for pleasant is na'am, implying something that is deeply delightful, sweet, and aesthetically beautiful to experience. The psalmist is looking at a specific human reality and recognizing it as a literal slice of heaven on earth. To fully comprehend the immense weight of this opening verse, we must view this gathering through the profound lens of the ancient Israelite Divine Council worldview as taught by Dr. Michael S. Heiser. We must remember that the natural state of the world outside of Zion was characterized by fierce fragmentation, hostility, and relentless warfare. In the Deuteronomy chapter 32 worldview, when humanity rebelled at the Tower of Babel, Yahweh disinherited the nations, scattering them across the face of the earth and placing them under the jurisdiction of lesser spiritual beings, the sons of God. Those territorial Elohim subsequently rebelled, corrupting their assignments and driving their respective human empires to constantly fight, exploit, and destroy one another. Chaos, division, and tribal hatred were the native operating systems of the fallen world. But here, on the slopes of Mount Zion, a supernatural miracle is taking place. The scattered tribes of Israel, who often suffered from internal rivalries and external political stress, have left their separate territories behind. They have marched up the mountain pass, passed through the seamless gates of Jerusalem, and they are now sitting down together, side by side, as one unified family. The Hebrew phrase for together in harmony is gam yachad, which implies an absolute, indivisible unity of purpose, heart, and soul. This holy harmony is a direct, aggressive subversion of the dark principalities. Yahweh's heavenly counsel is defined by perfect, unified execution of the divine will, and humanity was originally created to serve as the earthly extension of that loyal celestial family. When the brothers live together in harmony on Zion, they are restoring the original blueprint of Eden. They are demonstrating to the watching, rebel spirits that the unifying love of the Creator is completely breaking the power of the Babel fragmentation. Holy harmony is not just a nice sentimental feeling. It is a declaration of cosmic victory, showing that the true king has successfully gathered his scattered children into one unshakable, loving household. Segment 2 is the fragrant overflow of vertical sanctity. Psalm 133, verse 2. For harmony is as precious as the anointing oil that was poured over Aaron's head, that ran down his beard and onto the collar of his robes. To describe the invisible spiritual reality of this brotherly harmony, David deploys a highly specific, deeply sacred, and intensely sensory metaphor. For harmony is as precious as the anointing oil that was poured over Aaron's head, that ran down his beard and onto the collar of his robes. To the modern Western reader, the image of thick oil running down a man's face, soaking into his beard, and dripping onto his clothing might sound messy, or even unappealing. But to the ancient Near Eastern mind, this was a picture of ultimate luxury, supreme consecration, and overwhelming divine favor. The psalmist is referring explicitly to the Shemin HaTov, the unique, holy anointing oil described in Exodus chapter 30. This was not ordinary cooking oil. It was a highly concentrated, priceless compound of pure olive oil infused with massive amounts of liquid myrrh, fragrant cinnamon, sweet cane, and cassia. It was strictly forbidden for common use. When this oil was poured out, its rich, majestic, and intoxicating fragrance would instantly fill the entire environment, completely overriding the smells of the physical world. Look at the specific directional movement of the oil in the text. It is poured over Aaron's head, it runs down his beard, and it flows directly onto the collar of his priestly robes. This represents a magnificent, vertical cascade of holiness. Aaron was the high priest, the designated human mediator who was authorized to step into the Holy of Holies to stand before the Ark of the Covenant, the literal footstool of Yahweh's throne. When Aaron was anointed, the oil was poured out with radical, wasteful abundance. This vertical flow symbolizes the downpouring of heavenly sanctity from the King of the Cosmos into the physical realm. The oil starts at the head, the seat of divine authority, and it completely saturates the mediator, flowing down until it covers the entire body of the priesthood, which represents the collective community of Israel. David is teaching us a profound theological truth. True, holy harmony is not something that human beings can manufacture from the bottom up through political treaties or social engineering. Holy harmony is a supernatural gift that cascades from the top down. It originates from the throne room of the true sovereign, flows through our ultimate mediator, and completely saturates the body of the faithful. The rich, fragrant oil of unity marks the covenant family as a sacred, set-apart space, completely distinct from the profane, defiled territories of the rebel gods. When we walk in harmony, we are literally covered in the intoxicating fragrance of heaven's holiness. Segment 3 is Subverting the Dark Mountain and the Ultimate Decree of Life. Psalm 133, verse 3. Harmony is as refreshing as the dew from Mount Hermon that falls on the mountains of Zion, and there the Lord has pronounced his blessing, even life everlasting. The psalmist introduces a second, breathtaking metaphor to illustrate the revitalizing power of unity, shifting our focus from the fragrant sanctuary of the temple to the dramatic cosmic geography of the landscape. Harmony is as refreshing as the dew from Mount Hermon that falls on the mountains of Zion. To fully unlock the explosive, spiritual warfare embedded in this verse, we must look at a map of the ancient world through the lens of Dr. Heiser's Divine Council research. Mount Hermon was a massive snow-capped mountain located in the far northern region of Israel. Physically, it was the highest peak in the geography, producing immense, heavy blankets of dew and moisture that sustained the water systems of the entire region. But spiritually, in the ancient Near Eastern and Israelite mind, Mount Hermon was the ultimate epicenter of cosmic darkness and spiritual defilement. It was located in the ominous territory of Bashan, traditionally recognized as the Gate of Hell. According to ancient biblical traditions, Mount Hermon was the exact site where the rebel watchers, the fallen sons of God, originally descended to stage their mutiny against Yahweh corrupting humanity and establishing the stronghold of the pagan world. Mount Zion, by contrast, was physically much smaller, located in the south. Yet, Zion was the chosen throne room of Yahweh, the command center of true cosmic order. Look at the staggering supernatural paradox the psalmist constructs. He says the dew from Mount Hermon falls on the mountains of Zion. Geographically, this is impossible. Hermon and Zion are over 100 miles apart. David is making a massive prophetic claim of cosmic inversion and total reclamation. He is declaring that Yahweh is actively plundering the stronghold of the enemy. The King of Heaven takes the life-giving, abundant moisture from the very summit of the dark northern mountain of rebellion, and he redirects it, distilling it peacefully, purely, and refreshingly upon his own chosen mountain of Zion. The blessing of the enemy's territory is hijacked and used to irrigate the garden of God's people. Chaos is neutralized and transformed into refreshing life. The song reaches its magnificent historic climax in the final sentence, and there the Lord has pronounced his blessing, even life everlasting. The phrase "in there" points explicitly to Zion, the place where the brothers are living together in holy harmony. It is in the environment of unity that Yahweh issues an official, unbending sovereign decree. He pronounces his ultimate blessing, Chaim ad ha'olam, even life everlasting. We must recognize that the rebel spiritual forces weaponize death, decay, and division to maintain their legal grip on a broken humanity. The fall in Eden introduced mortality, separating humans from the divine counsel. But on Mount Zion, within the fragrant unified family of God, the King completely overrules the sentence of the grave. He issues a legal celestial decree of immortal life. Everlasting life is the ultimate restoration of Eden, the final glorious guarantee that the brothers who walk together in harmony on earth will continue to dwell together in unhindered, joyful fellowship with the Creator and the loyal heavenly assembly for all of eternity. The trail of the pilgrim has led us directly to the fountain of youth. Segment 4 is Deploying the Weapon of Harmony on the Modern Trek. Psalm 133, verses 1 through 3, provides us with a sharp, piercing masterclass in spiritual warfare, completely redefining our understanding of Christian community. It teaches us that holy harmony is not a passive, optional luxury for the church. It is an aggressive, defensive weapon. The enemy principalities thrive on division, gossip, bitterness, and tribal fragmentation. When we allow our hearts to become fractured, we are actively operating in the native operating system of Babel, surrendering territory to the adversary. As you walk your trek today, make the deliberate, courageous choice to root out all division from your life. Commit yourself fiercely to the preservation of holy harmony within your family, your friendships, and your local community of faith. Realize that when you choose forgiveness over resentment and unity over pride, you are standing in the vertical flow of Aaron's fragrant anointing oil. You are drawing the supernatural sanctity of heaven straight down into the dirt of your daily routine. Look past the dark, intimidating mountains of our modern culture, knowing that your King has already plundered the strongholds of the enemy. The cosmic dew of his grace is actively falling upon your life, transforming your parched, stressful, dry seasons into a blooming oasis of restoration. Rest confidently in the supreme, unshakable decree of your sovereign Lord. You have been granted life everlasting. Walk forward with the steady, joyful stride of a fully unified family, pushing back the darkness and radiating the sweet, intoxicating fragrance of the King's Shalom to the very ends of the earth. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through this Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.